Hello class, I thought let's have a video lessons today because sometimes what's happening is some of you are having problem in understanding the concepts that we are doing recently. We have been doing, for example, the break statement and continue statement, and some of you I could easily make out that were having some difficulty in understanding that. So what I thought that I will do a video lesson today. I will explain break statement, continue statement properly once again. And we will do an application also. In program you have not used as such. So I will show you in program how to use break statement. So pay attention to this very, very carefully. You can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen with you. Now, break statement, as you know, that it's basically used to break a loop, right? To stop a loop. Okay, a loop is already supposed to execute fixed number of times. When you take a for loop, be it with range function or with not with range function, in both the cases, what should happen is the for loop should execute a fixed number of times. So if I take a for loop with range function for k in range, if I write say 2 comma 7, so 2 comma 7 means for which all the values of k the for loop should go on. It is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These many values of k are possible. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means there are 5 values altogether. That means this loop is supposed to work 5 times, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now what I've done, look at this. I wanted to print all the values of the loop variable. So k will be printed as it is. But what I have done, I have written if k double equal to 5, that when k will be equal to 5, I said you break the loop. That means I did not let the loop continue up to the last point. Look at this once again here. I'm just writing the value of k for your convenience. The value of k should be 2, 3, okay? And then we can have 4, we will have 5, and we will have 6, because 7 is the last point, right? And I did not mention any step value. That means the value of k every time is supposed to increase by 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 5 values are possible. But I said when k will be equal to 5, you break. So as if the vehicle was going and I applied the brake here at this point. So the loop stopped. Okay. It will not repeat the process again and again. Okay. So that is what is bound to happen. That was what was the break statement. And then, for example, if I print something else, say I wrote print Ankush, okay, right? And then again I wrote say print Sneha. So these two lines, print Ankush and print Sneha, you can easily make out that these two lines are not part of the loop. Why? Because I told you that if it is supposed to be the part of the loop, then these two lines will be shifted on its right. Okay, they will be shifted on the right side. Like these print if, they should be in the same line as this. But since they are in the same line, not in the same line, so they are not part of the loop. So obviously, if we print, then what will happen? We will get 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to that point, it will print, and then the loop will break. It will not get a chance to print 6, and then it comes out of the loop and prints Ankush and Sneha, right? So what will happen? If I run the program, it will print 2. Okay, loop is still going on. It will print 3. Loop is still going on. 4. Loop is still going on. 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then what happens? 6 will not be printed here. What will happen? It will print, then the loop will stop, obviously, because you wrote break statement. The loop will stop, and then it will print Ankush and Sneha, right? So let us see our display pattern. We will understand it properly. And once you understand this, I will try to write a new program for you using break statement, right? So I'm just saving it, whatever be the name, let it be whatever. Okay. And then if we run the program, you can see very clearly when you're running the program, it is giving you the display 2, 3, 4, 5, then Ankush and Sneha, what we expected, right? Now, my job is, today I will explain you a program, okay? See to this very, very carefully. The program is about a triangular number, okay? You can write it down, okay? Triangular number, okay? What is triangular number? A triangular number is, like I'm just explaining you, a triangular number is obtained when you sum up all the consecutive natural numbers up to a specific point. What I mean to say, like 6 is a triangular number. Why? Because look at this, if I sum up 1 plus 2 plus 3, it will give me 6, okay? I did not miss out any numbers between 2, and 3. I wrote all the natural numbers. Fine. Similarly, if you take 10, 10 will be a natural number, triangular number. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. If you add, you will get 10. So I did not miss out any numbers in between, and I'm getting 10. Then say 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. That adds up to 15, right? So 15 is a triangular number. But all the other numbers like 2, 3, like say 7, 9, they are not triangular numbers. Yes, 3 is also a triangular number. 1 plus 2, if you add up, then we'll get 3. 3 is a triangular number. So we will have to find out a number is a triangular number or not. So user will input a number. For example, user has input a number. Look at this carefully. I wrote input, enter a number, right? So n is user's input, and I have to find out, the program will be able to find out the number is a triangular number or not a triangular number. So when you do this, once again, like if you remember, I tried to find out perfect number, factors of a number. Then we found out half the number. Okay. Here also we use the same technique. First find what is the half of the number. So half of the number should be supposed to be n by 2. But if you remember, I kept on telling you always, whenever you use this slash, front slash to divide, this kind of division always means a decimal division. The result will always come in float. Like if the value of n is 10, 10 by 2, it will not give you the result 5. It will give you the result 5.0. I can show you here in the Python shell. If you write, for example, print 14 divided by 2. Look at this, the answer is 7.0. It is not 7. So that is why I have used here, I'm going to use int function to bring the result into integer. And if it is not an integer, for example, 15 by 2, 15 by 2 will be 7.5. The 7.5's integer part means only 7 will be taken. Okay, so I have divided the number by 2 and I have converted the result into integer. Now what I will do, I will fix up a for loop. But before that, I will take a variable sum equal to 0. Why sum equal to 0? If you remember in the last class, I told you that whenever you have to find sum of a few numbers, whenever you have to find out sum of a few numbers, always the storage place, okay, where you sum up all the numbers, that storage place should be initialized by 0 at the very beginning. It is a compulsion, okay, it is compulsory. Now I will fix up a for loop. I wrote for I in range, I wrote 1 comma half plus 1. Half plus 1 means it will go up to half. So if I get half of the number, say 14 by 2, I got 7. So if I write here 8, 7 plus 1 is 8. That means 1 to 8, all the numbers I will get. So what is happening is I'm getting here, say my input number is 15. Okay. My number input here is 15. Fine. I'm writing it here. I've input a number 15. So 15 by 2, that means 7.5. So I got here exactly 7.5. So 7.5, it is almost equal to 7 because I'm taking the integer part. So here what will happen? The loop will work from 1 to 8. And 1 to 8 means I will get the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up to 7, I will get all the numbers. Now look at this, what am I doing? I will write here sum equal to sum plus I. Okay, I'm just storing the i's into sum. So what will happen? 1 plus 2 plus 3. This way, these numbers will be kept on adding up in the variable sum. Now, once it is done, I'm just checking that have I crossed the number? Is sum greater than or equal to n? Why did I do that? Look at this. First, I will add up 1. The value of sum will be 1. Okay. First time, it will be 0. Sum was 0 plus 1. So it will be 1. Next time, what will happen? It will be this 1 plus 2. That is 3. Okay. Next time, it will be 3 plus 4. That is 5. Okay. Next time, this 5 plus the next number, that is 5. So this way it will keep on coming up, right? 1, first I added up 1, then I did 1 plus 2. Okay, the 3 I got, sorry, I missed out 3. Then 3 plus 3, it will be 6. Okay, then it will be 6 plus next value of I, that is 4, that is equal to 10. And next time it will be 10 plus 5 equal to 15. So this way, when the sum is getting a new value of I, okay, I'm just checking it whether sum has crossed n or not. Because look at this, when this sum up these numbers, addition of these numbers or sum total of these numbers will exceed 15 or will be equal to 15, I don't need to continue this anymore. So what I will do, I will break the loop here. So I'm using the break statement. That means this loop was supposed to go for 7 times. But since the number is 15, and I already got the sum total 15 here in the variable sum, so I broke the loop. And when did I break the loop? When I will be equal to 5, that time what will happen? The value of sum will be equal to 15, as I have shown you here. So as a result, the loop will break. And when the loop breaks, you go out and you check if sum double equal to n. Is the sum total is equal to the number? Then you print triangular number. Okay. Otherwise, you print else not a triangular number. Okay. Not a triangular number. You print this way. Fine. I forgot to put the double quotation here. Right? So that is how it is working. But imagine if I take a number here, say 17. So 17 means first, similarly, look at this 0 plus 1 will be added, it will be 1. Next value of I is 2. So 1 plus 2, it will become 3. Next value of I is 3. So sum was already 3 plus 3 more. So 6. Next value of I will be 4. So sum is 6 and the value of I, that is 10. Next value is 10. Next value is basically sum equal to 10 and the next value of I, that is 15. Okay, 15. Now when sum equal to 15, look at this, 15 is not greater than 17. I have not crossed 17 yet. Okay, now next number I will add up. So 10 plus, 15 plus the next number 6. So it becomes 21. So when it becomes 21, what happens? 15 plus 6, sorry, it becomes 21. So if sum is equal to 21, so 21 is greater than 17, so the loop will break. So we can see that 17 is not equal to the number, so it will print it is not a triangular number. So either when the number, the sum total will exceed the number or sum total will be exactly equal to the number, that time only we have to break the loop. And if we break the loop, we will get to see very clearly the number is a triangular number or not. And how do we get to know that? When we compare it with the sum. If it is equal, then it is a triangular number. And if it is not equal, it is not a triangular number. So if we run it, look at this. If we run this program, say I'm running it for the value 15. So look at this, it shows triangular number. But let us give a value which is not a triangular number. For example, I was explaining with 17. So put the value 17 here. So it shows not a triangular number. Fine. So have a look at this code properly. If you do not understand, I will explain you once again in my next class. Okay.